So, are there anything like you are doing differently in 2022 than you may be doing differently from last year?
Yeah, for real, like, I had to sit down and just meditate and just think about, how I want to be in just a different place financially, just moving into 2023. So my first step is to, I guess, find a better job. Cause see, like, this is like, I guess what I kind of want to lead into investing, investing into yourself, just like you mentioned. But it's hard to invest in yourself when you don't really have the funds to invest. It's kind of like having bills, right? And it's like you have more bills than you have income in a sense, so you're always behind sometimes. Right. So it's just like if you can somehow figure out how to increase your income.
Your overhead is more than your income coming in.
Yes, from a manager's perspective, I guess. But
or business, but I'm with you.
I mean, yeah, from business perspective, but you have more. For everyone out here that's not a manager, I guess, we have more bills than income. In the hood, the black folks, that's what we say, more bills than income. Robbing
and we're trying, and that's why we're doing this podcast, to change that type of thinking right there.
Anyway,
isn't it? All right,
yes.
Thank you.
Now,
for our people.
So, as far as investing, like, how much are you into investing? Like, how much? How long have you been?
I won't say I'm into investing per se, as far as like stocks or like things like Robinhood and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm into saving, so I will say I'm good at finding a way to save $1 in any situation, because basically I do like this, right? Taxes, you only get paid about 60% of your income, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you're really far behind or something like that. Mm-hmm. Even if you took 10% off to save, so now you're down to 50%, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, we black, we've been through this struggle before. We all start off at a $100 paycheck. Some people making more, some people making less, right? But out of that $100, I might use 80, for my everyday life or whatever. I put that 20 to a side. Mm-hmm. So over time, I'm always saving, although I'm spending.
Now, this is what, I didn't, of course, I feel like some of our parents weren't as aware of, different strategies for saving or investing in general. So, their knowledge wasn't passed on. But now we have way more resources to figure out
I would say
how
this,
to save.
Black parents or other ethnicities, because the white people knew this knowledge. Their kids got generational wealth already. They, people like Bill Gates, who parents nah, you've been in the company since you was 5 years old, so you know the ins and outs. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them, but you'd be surprised. I run into people with graduate degrees where they're like, look, what's a 401k? Because that's their first job too. They don't have 401k.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand. Our parents and our the former generations, they only knew what they knew.
Right. So how can they pass on something that they didn't even know anything about?
One of the best conversations, and this definitely goes along with what we're talking about, is, all right, think about our parents, or let's go to our grandparents' generation, right? Mm-hmm. For them at that time, going to college was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you made it when you went to college, and then hopefully you found a good job after that, right? Mm-hmm. But now in today's society, not necessarily going to college isn't exactly required. Now you may need to get a trade. You may do something to, get to that next level.
College isn't enough. You can go and have all the education that you want, but if you don't have experience, you still are out here struggling as if you didn't have a degree.
So in comparison, right? Mm-hmm. You may have a person who, let's just say, works at a job for 20 years or whatever like that, and makes his way up, and let's just say he became a manager, right? Mm-hmm. Compared to a person who went to school for whatever degree, and now they're not in their field. Now you're starting off with $50,000 debt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So college is one way, or just knowing what you want to go, the direction that you're trying to go, is a detriment to black people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because we're trying it, but we're still paying the end result of this debt that we're in, where you may not have needed to be in.
College creates debt sometimes, just with student loans. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly
because you spend all this money to go to college, and then it's not like you're guaranteed a job these days when you get out, because you may not have the experience. But I was gonna say salary mate, but the student loans, you got about 6 months before you have to start paying that back. Okay, so you got about 6 months before you got to start paying that.
Keep going.
But then, I'm trying not to get too mad, because I'm kind of like, damn.
Hey, that ain't touched the soul. Yeah. Now, all right, for me.
Hold on. You got 6 months before you got to pay that back. Mm-hmm. But then also, you know what I'm saying, what if you're living on your own? You got rent, you got car insurance, you got car note. Those things come first. You got to feed yourself. But there's and if you don't pay it, then they're now taxing on interest. You know what I'm saying? So
for me, I feel like a lot of that depends on your foundation, right? Yeah. What I'm about to talk about is more culturally, right? Mm-hmm. So in the black neighborhood, it's a joke, and it's also kind of a reality. Mm-hmm. Hey, when you get 18, you on your own. I ain't paying your bills no more. You're grown, right? Mm-hmm. In the black community, some of these other communities Africans or like an Asian one, they're not necessarily pushing their kids out at an adult age where they don't mind.
Why do our parents do that though? Is it kind of like teaching you to be independent?
It is. Once again, that's the way they was raised, right? Mm-hmm. That's just our culture. I would say it like that. Not saying it's right or wrong, but that's how it was. Like you're grown. We don't have enough. How you were saying, we don't have enough money to pay. You know what I'm saying? You need to add something to this household at this point. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Compared to some other ones, is it takes a tribe. It's a family. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We're in America where we're more independent as a culture of like states and stuff compared to other regions like India or Asia or something like that, where it's more family based. We all help each other, get out of it. So like, an African family might say, hey, I don't care if you're here to 30. You gonna get your doctorate degree first before you move out, and now you about to face this. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's how you're raised, the foundation that you have to go through also.
Yeah, but that can work both ways. I think you really have to know your child, because you might not have that child where you can try to help them, because then you may be deterring them or enabling them, by living with you. So like some parents, I've seen some posts, people say, oh, well, I wouldn't kick my kids out or make them go get a job and work. I want them to focus on school. That's if they decide to focus on school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
start teaching them to pay bills early. Start teaching them, of being on time with their bills early. Like, you get allowance. Hey, I'm gonna take $5 of this allowance for rent. And now you may not spend it, but you put it in a bank account for them or something like that. Set them up and teach them early so that when they're older, it's not like a wake up. It's not like, wait, what? I gotta,
And that's what I'll use like me and my youngest older sister for an example, right? Mm-hmm. So I was more raised on, hey, I gotta do it for myself. I've been out here. My mom taught me about bills early. Mm-hmm. My sister, she probably didn't get out to maybe she was like 22. Where my grandparents, they was there for her. She had a better foundation. Mm-hmm. But the reality of the world just hit her later, than me. About 15, 16, I'm knowing about bills. My mom might be asking me for $100 to pay the bill. So I understand the reality of life compared to, a better foundation where now you might be 23 and you moving out for the first time is a shocking moment compared to I might have moved out when I was 19. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on when you start your experience. And
I feel like a lot of us had those mamas where like you get your paycheck and you try to hide how much it was because she's gonna try to make you pay a bill.
But she opened that mail anyway.
And find out how much it was.
Hey, it's side conversation. Did your mom used to open your mail like randomly?
She still open my mail. But I can't be mad because
because it goes to her house?
No, actually, she called me last week and she paid like a toll bill I had. I think like $20 turned into like $50 because I didn't pay it.
My mom ain't never do that for
She ain't never pay your bill?
She might have called me like, hey, you better hurry up, the due date coming.
Hey, I low-key wanted to like take some more mail and like sneak it on the table for real, so like see if she pay that credit card bill real quick.
That's funny.
Yeah, I can't be mad. She because my mail goes to her house or whatever, I prefer that. So she opens some of them, and at least some of them, not all of them she'll pay, but hey, if she gonna pay a couple of them, why not?
Yeah, you can open my mail if you paying for it.
As long as the mail comes to my mom's house, she will open your stuff.
Okay.
But,
all right, so back to like investments, right? Let's talk about like insurance, right? So I don't think we talk about insurance enough, and this is even a new topic for me to even talk about, right?
In the African American community, a lot of times we don't believe in insurance. In a sense, we say it's a scam, and it kind of seems like it is, because let's talk about car insurance, for instance, right? I ain't gonna lie. I've been in 2 accidents so far within like the past year, and every time I've gone to my car insurance, it kind of they can be as warm and comforting as they want to be, but it kind of seems like somewhat of a hassle to get them to repair the car. And I'm kind of like, well, I've been with this company for 10 years. I probably paid you way more than what you're about to give me to fix my car anyway. It does sound like a scam. However, it's better to have than not to have. So why is it when it comes to life insurance, for some reason, we don't want to talk about it, because it's like you're jinxing us on our death or something?
It is. I do think, especially like I said in our community, I don't think we even talk about that. I remember a couple of years you tried to bring it to me, and I was still like, nah, I'm not on that. I just want to stack my money up. But now that I'm a little older, me having a kid, and me trying to hopefully be the person in my family to start generational wealth, at least the process of it, right? Mm-hmm. I had to start looking at some of these, I don't want to say, or at least getting out of some of these hood ideas, some of these black ideas that we have. Start looking at other cultures. I don't want to keep saying a specific one, but looking at some other cultures to see how they got their wealth, their generational wealth. And one of them was life insurance. Of course, think about this. A lot of people who pass away.
Everybody's going to die at some point.
Yeah, everybody's going to pass away at some point, right? Mm-hmm. And not saying you're trying to be that burden. You might not have been that person intentionally, right? Mm-hmm. But if you have kids or a wife, that funeral cost alone $10,000. Everybody's ain't got $10,000 to bury somebody at a low end. You know what I'm saying? Not even talking about their debts and whatever else they may have had going on.
10,000 is honestly like
it's low end.
Yeah, it's on the low end. I was gonna say it might be like $5 just for the casket alone. Then you have, then you have to pay the church to hold the service. You gotta pay to bury them. You understand? Then you got like the food and everything else for. I was going to say the reception, but after the repast,
but even past that. Now let's go. We had the funeral, right? Mm-hmm. Now let's say your mom or dad was in debt, right? Like the house. It might have been the house, right? Yeah. Could have been behind the house. You don't want to lose the house, or you might be the owner of the house now. Just buy off a will or contract now. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, that burden's put on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So with life insurance, is what I'm learning is, one, you want to have it to at least not try to be a burden with your own responsibilities on the next person. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as like the growth in it or the money making in it, I still feel kind of odd about this. Yeah. But one person was saying like, all right, everybody have older family members in their family, right? We're all going to pass
grandma. That's right. Go, most likely.
Right. We ain't talking about it, but we know grandma got a couple more years in her, right?
Right.
They were saying basically somebody should make sure they have life insurance on that person. And I know it sounds like you're trying to pit money on death, but
it's gonna happen. So why not just leave them? Like you might go to grandma's like, oh no, you wishing me. It's like no, I'm not wishing. But at the same time, if you really love your family and you've lived your life as long as you can live, and it's looking like you're about to go. Like shout out to Earn Your Leisure and Derek Grace, by the way. He actually made this point on one of the episodes of Earn Your Leisure.
Shout out to whoever you are.
But he was talking about like great grandma, right? Why not all the grandkids are? Let's say she has 4 grandkids, right? Or 4 great grandchildren. Let's say they came together and they took out $1 million life insurance policy on great grandma, who's gonna pass within like like the next 6 years or something like that. That's expensive, but they're paying it. You're not paying it, right?
Right.
So when she passes, between the 4 of them, that's $250,000 a piece that they got. Now 9 out of 10, you know what I'm saying?
Now you became an instant millionaire,
exactly,
a quarter of a millionaire,
right?
And overnight, right? You're not celebrating the fact that the person's gone, but now that person has. Well, that person and you with them have now helped put the whole family in a better situation.
Right.
So that's what he was saying. Like one of the disparities between like black wealth and white wealth is some of these people have that. That's how they started off. You know what I'm saying? And they kept growing and just using the laws or the insurance to their benefit for their family.
Let's say your great grandmother had passed away. And you just so happen to she left you $250,000. What would you do with that money? What's your plan? Invest in what? Like, would you buy a house? That may appreciate in value.
See, I'm more of me personally. I'm a simple person, right? So I don't really need the over the top. I won't act like I won't spend some of that money, but especially my mindset now. I'm trying to. I'll probably invest into my own business. It'd be maybe like if it's a podcast. I'll put more money into the production, trying to get to the next level. Even on a small scale, maybe I'll open a chain of barbershops, some kind of residual income that I ain't really gotta worry about. What they call mailbox money. I'm just waking up and money's coming into me, royalties and stuff like that. Maybe get some stock in a Bitcoin or a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Just something that's looking more forthright. Like I said, I'm trying to get my bang for my buck. So that's more what I'm on right now.
So would you hold like the extra money that you have, right? Would you hold that in a bank account or hold it in stocks? Because what I realized later on in life is that if you invest your money in the right stocks, let me say something like Coke. Coke's not going nowhere, right?
Right.
You put it in Coke. One, you're getting, depending on how many shares you buy, you're getting dividends back, right?
Right.
And those dividends are coming back quarterly or annually or semi-annually, whatever the case is. Like you're gonna make way more within a year. You're gonna make way more off of the I guess the interest that you're paid off of that stock than you would make with a bank. Like you leave your money in a bank. They're never going to pay you as much as you could have made if you just invested it long term in that stock. So that's kind of where it's like, well, why use bank accounts these days?
The reason why, the one thing about stocks and everything is you got to have money to play with a little bit, right? Like how you was telling me, like, if I put $500 into this stock, I got to be able to lose that $500. And at a time like right now, during the pandemic especially, everybody's holding on to their money tight, right? So at worst, in the bank, my bank's not growing interest, but I ain't wake up and this $500 gone.
Yeah, that's why I said like okay, like Coke. right? That's not going anywhere. That's been around since what, the 30s, 40s, something like that.
But your money is still, from my understanding of stocks, just off some basic shit, right? It may not go nowhere, right?
Yeah, it can't go down.
But
it fluctuates.
That's all I'm saying. It fluctuates, right? My money in the bank ain't fluctuating. That's on me. If I spend it, I know the fluctuation or the inflammation went. But me just waking up, one day it's 500, the next day it's 250. I still lost 250 right now. I may need this 250, and now I lost it. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta follow the kings, man, and just invest in. Find someone to follow that you know is good. So, like for instance, right? Somebody. They on Earn Your Leisure University, they once talked Earn Your Leisure podcast. They once talked about investing in Tesla, right? Okay. And they were kind of hyping Tesla. Tesla was like $500 back in May. It's like $1,000 something now. So back in October of last year. So within 5 months, it went up $500. It didn't go down. But then you have that exit point. So if you got to learn the market. Don't just don't not know anything about stocks and then just I think I want to buy Nike. You know what I'm saying? And you go get Nike and it goes down. 9 out of 10 you study it and you know what stocks to buy, and even if you don't invest long term, you know it's gonna go up. Even though there's no definite guarantee, like you were saying, with the bank, you know your money's gonna be there.
One thing that I've been trying to do, like I think me, I'm a hustler, right? So I'm always trying to find out how to make $1. Mm-hmm. So one thing I was thinking about, what I've been seeing, like I said, I don't really understand Bitcoins, cryptocurrency, and all like that. I understand the idea, but the
Bitcoin took a hit though.
The ins and out. But this is what they're saying though, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say Bitcoin worth 30,000 right now, right? At least the progress I see, it goes up and down. So now, like you said, it takes a hit. Let's say it's 19,000 right now. Mm-hmm. Me, you, 3 other people can put our money together, buy that 20,000 stock. It's going to go up. So now it goes up to 40,000, right? We all technically made a investment.
Your money,
right. Now you can take your money out and redo it. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get on, or I got a couple plans I can't say on this camera that I'm trying to work out, but that's more my mindset now. Like, all right, we may not have this 29,000 to invest singly, but hey, if we had 3,000, it went up to 2,000. Either way, we made a profit.
So, how do you feel about life insurance?
We just talked about that.
No, I'm sorry. How do you feel about healthcare?
In what regard?
Like, do you feel like healthcare is kind of a waste of your money? Because like most healthcare you have to put in or whatever for them to pay out. Do you feel like
this? To me, I look at it like it's better to have it than not. Best way I can say, because some people out here are worse without healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Now, the way I look at it, basically healthcare is really for older people, because as you're getting older, your body's starting to break down. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're like 20 years old, that help, unless you just got like a whole lot of health conditions. You going to the doctor every month ain't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a 60-year-old who may now have more health issues, that doctor and that insurance is probably kicking in more now. You know what I'm saying? Where it's more beneficial to you having it. Mm-hmm. So I just think it depends. It's an individual thing, but it's still better to have it than not.
Yeah, it's better to have it than not, I guess. But it also depends, I guess, like your premiums too. So shout out to our part-time job where they have great health care. What? I mean, it's like $20 a month, ain't it?
No, I'm with you.
You want to throw that in there?
I'm not shouting him out right now.
Oh, okay. He's a little salty.
We're going through negotiations.
Yeah, he's a little salty right now. But shout out to my part-time job where they have great health care. But anyway, what about automatic payments, though? Because I was reading something that was just I don't do it either. I think most people I know, most people in my circle, it's just like automatic payments. Nah, I ain't about to just have you taking money out when you feel like
I think it's a great idea as far as like if you're somebody who's not good with dates or remembering, and you're not, once again, credit is a good thing. It's a big thing out there. Mm-hmm. That may be a great tool for you. Mm-hmm. But if you know, hey, I don't be paying my whole bill right away, then probably not. Like, nigga, I might give you $250 this week, $50 this week. I'm gonna break it down.
How do you feel about that, like partial payments?
I'm like this.
Niggas will pay like $20 a week on their phone bill.
As long as like this I'm looking at. I look at credit, on time history, stuff like that. Like whatever, like this, whatever you are going to like go buy a house with, they have a certain process of looking at it. The whole underwriting process of it, right? But we're gonna look at every transaction that you're doing to see if you're making it make sense. So I try to live like that, right? So I forgot the point where I was going with that. But I just try to make it make sense. I'm not going to have no late fees, none of that. Now, if it takes $20 a week to pay for it to be on time, do what you got to do. But don't be like, your bill's $150 and you're always paid $100, so you always have that $50 balance and it just continues. eventually that shows up on your history to show, that you wasn't the best of the best. Best way I can say it.
So I know you said like you want your money to always be there. Like you kind of like you don't want to leave it in someone else's hands. So let's say you was balling, right? Let's say you was good.
Right.
Would you mind investing in automatic payments then? Or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter at that point.
Like a lot of my perspective is my placement in life at right now, right? So some of these ideas I'm definitely for, it's just not for me at this time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So once again, you don't want to do something outside of your means of trying to make it work for you. Because my situation, not your situation, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I said, I could remember dates. I know what dates. I make sure. You know what I'm saying? Because that extra $10 late fee, when you look at it, like, you might say, damn, I want some new Jordans, right? Mm-hmm. But you just paid $400 in late fees over the whole year. That could have been your extra Jordans. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. It's like, if you would have just did it right, you still could have had both.
That's an investment too. Like people investing in shoes now, like on a stock. I think it's StockX or something, or whatever shoe company it is, or Goat or whatever, where they buy shoes and then you just resell them, like on the. That's somewhat investing or flipping your money. So like,
if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I used to collect Jordans, and I ain't gonna lie, I used to collect Jordans, and I had a car repo like back in 2014. It hit me hard, but anyway, I realized because I looked at my closet and I had all these shoes, right? So I was kind of depressed. I was like, damn, I got all these shoes. But at the same time, I ended up falling in this situation with my car, right? But then, what I did was I got on the phone and I just started making offers. I said, hey, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? Because so those Jordans, I wear kid sizes or whatever. So I might have spent $100 something. But because those Jordans hadn't come out in like 3-4 years or whatever, and they're brand new, I never wore them. Now I can sell them for a lot more than what I bought them for.
Now. Another thing, we about to wrap this up soon. Another thing that I feel like we as a people should look at is equity, right? Yeah. Not exactly having your money, exactly cash, liquid. Let's say liquid. Mm-hmm. So for me to be able to touch, right? So things like an old car. Mm-hmm. Even this example, nigga, if she gave you the wedding ring back, right? Hold that joint. Don't go cash it out right away, right? Not saying because you never know when you may need that money. Because you know if you get this money,
it appreciates the value.
It could appreciate, or it's just like to me, I have more rainy days than good days as far as how life happens, right? Mm-hmm. So something's always gonna pop up. Mm-hmm. I know if I go cash this ring out and get this $1,000 for it, this $1,000 probably gonna get spent over time, and I may not have needed to spend it. So now that's already spent, it could appreciate, go up in time. Let me hold it to when I really need to cash it out. So if I ever need $1,000, I know I got this ring in the closet. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got that old car, it may not be worth nothing, but you probably at least get $500. Just go ahead and keep it in the yard for right then. So you know you always at least have $500.
So you just hold on to stuff for like just like you said, a rainy day, like just in case.
Yeah, because like I may not have $500 in my bank account, but I know I have something worth $500. Now I can go sell this, and now I have, you know what I'm saying? I have a form of getting money.
Yes, I get the point you're making. But with cars, that's tricky just because like cars usually depreciate value, they don't appreciate.
No,
it might be worth $500 in January. You turn around in like May, it's like I dropped like another 100 or 2.
Yeah, but what I'm saying in an aspect of you can't pay your rent.
Playing something, yeah.
Yeah, it's just another way of having money somewhere that you just wouldn't normally have.
Do you wear jewelry at all?
No, not really.
So let's say, I don't know. Let's say you did. Like, how long? Let's say, I don't know. Your great grandma. You know, you got her jewelry from after she passed away, or something like that. How long? Like, would you? How long would you hold it? Because technically, it might be valuable. Like, it's great grandma's. It ain't grandma's. It's great grandma's.
That's actually a real conversation. Because my grandmother actually collects really high class value stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like glasses, like crystals and stuff like that, dining room sets and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, like, to me as a male, that has no real thing to me. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the value of it. Mm-hmm. Out of principle, I wouldn't sell it because that's my grandmother's stuff. She literally had listen, don't sell my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, like I said, if it was one of those, like, it's a hard time and this is there shining in my house and I'm broke out here, I may have to do a vase or two. But
I mean, that's what pawn shops are for. You know, like, people take out payday loans and it's like, if you can help it, don't take out a payday loan. Go to the pawn shop before you go to, make.
Oh, but you trying to say go back and get it back?
Right, you can go get it back. I think that's.
I don't think I'm making it back. That's what I'm saying. Like, because once again, I know my initial feeling. Like, I I'm not saying I don't care about it, but the value that she sees in it, I don't see the same because of the item. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is like a 1962 Mustang or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and keep this car. I know what, you know what I'm saying? Compared to a China set where it's like, all right, I can't even eat off it. Like, it's like what is it?
So let's say she had like a plate or something, right? And he was about to sell it because it was worth like $300.
Right.
But then somebody so happened to come to you up and beat you before. Someone came to you before you put in a pawn shop, right? And it was like, hey, you hold on to that to another 4 years, that might be $10,000.
No,
what do you do?
It depends on the situation. Is rent due? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if rent due, and I'm here to get this money for rent, right? Mm-hmm. And those situations, you may never have. That's great. That's a great investment point. Mm-hmm. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not even in that situation to take this advice. Hey, why we got to do better?
If you ever pawn one of them plates, just let me know. Because you must be like, didn't I put that pawn something? This new plate you got? Like, hey.
But look, we can go on all day. Go ahead.
Close out. Do you believe in paying yourself first?
Always. Because I do have the belief you can't help nobody until you help yourself.
No, I mean, like, when you get your check, right, you set aside a certain amount for you first. Then, like, you ever get, like, sometimes, okay, let's say you get a check that's, like, I don't know, $500. You got $500, you got $700 worth in bills.
Right.
Are you going to take your whole check and put that into, you know, your bills? Or are you going to be like, man, look, this week I'm going to the movies. I'm going to go buy these Jordans that I want. I'm going to do something good for myself.
No.
You don't believe in that?
No, I don't. Because, once again, to me, all that has, that's that whole conversation, wants versus needs. I need this place. I don't need to go to the movies, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, the whole late fee thing, like, you know, for example, it's a snowball effect. That's just how I look at it, mm-hmm. where this one ripple in the wave could be a tsunami later. And once again, like, we can't control the outcomes, mm-hmm. but you can control how you started or how it started. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, me personally, I wouldn't, but I understand it. Like, if you're working this damn hard, you don't want to seem like a slave to work. Mm-hmm. You might want to do something nice for yourself. But just don't make it.
Don't overdo it. Like, don't go get, you know, some Balenciagas or something like that when you could have settled for.
Yeah, like, niggas who be wearing, like, red bottoms who be on the bus doesn't even make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, hey, you value a car, they don't. You know.
No, but I'm saying, like, but you got red bottoms. You got $300 pair, whatever shoes, right? But you live in your mama's basement. It just doesn't even aesthetically look right to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's a loss. That's like a bad bitch with no money. Like,
you gotta learn discipline, basically.
Yeah, like, discipline, sacrifice.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning to another one. That's the first episode of Financial Friday. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more for you the next round. Again,
it's your boy, Sir Petty.
It's Sir Petty. I'm Kizzy. Catch you next time.
Tell a friend. That was a good conversation.